It's 8 o'clock. Welcome to Tribe TV. So good to have you with us. If you are watching on Facebook, please start a watch party. If you're watching on YouTube, share the link. Let's draw people into this stuff. I want to bring you a introduction today, which is the start of a new course that we're doing on the Tribe. But you're going to get some stuff out of the introduction, even as I begin to open up a theme. We're going to be looking at the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, which is a bit of a leadership classic that I've taken lots of my team through over the years and really helped shape my leadership thinking. So have a little listen to this introduction to Good to Great. And if you want to carry on the little course with us, as I open up chapter by chapter, then come and join the Tribe, tier 2 or 3, and you'll be able to join in the rest of this with us. Right now, we have a discount on membership. So have a little listen at the end of the introduction if you're interested in joining our Tribe. Have a little listen to this. Hi, I'm Jarrod Cooper. I want to invite you on a journey. It's a journey that has already been transforming my life and my leadership. And the journey I want to invite you on is to look into a book called Good to Great by a guy called Jim Collins. Some years ago, I was getting stuck in church ministry. The church that I was leading was no longer growing. We'd really plateaued. We were a bit stuck and we were in a bit of an unhealthy place, and I didn't know what to do. My background is I love ministry. I love preaching. I love prophesying. I love church services. I love those parts, as it were, of the things of God and of ministry. And whatever I did, I just couldn't get this thing to be any healthier or to begin to grow again. We were stuck. More to the point, here's the truth. I was stuck. I topped out doing the things that I loved and the things that I already knew that I was good at. And so my solution to every problem was to do the things that I knew even harder, louder, or better. But nothing was working. And then with the advice of a few good friends and some great pastors and some guys ahead of me, I came across this book. And in studying it and in getting good advice from experienced leaders, I got unstuck and learned to move again. And the core of my problem was this. I didn't realize that ministry and leadership were two very different things. Ministry, preaching, teaching, prophesying, counseling, pastoring, they're great things to do, and it's what we usually join the ministry for, that and our love for God. But actually, when the Bible talks about governing diligently in Romans 12, I didn't understand the gift of leadership and the wisdom of leadership and how it was subtly different to preaching and teaching and prophesying. There is a whole world of good leadership, understanding group dynamics, how people sew together, what motivates an entire group and keeps them together. I didn't understand stuff like that. How to develop a culture, how to develop succession, how to delegate really well and make sure that things got done. That wasn't my world. And in fact, if I'm honest, I was pretty intimidated by it. But over time, I learned to differentiate ministry and my love for it and the fact that I kind of excelled more in that direction from leadership and how I needed to grow in leadership. Effectively, God was kind of looking at me going, Jarrod, let me tell you what your problem is. You're a lovely minister, well done, but you're a lousy leader. Here's how we can develop it. And I began to saturate myself in good, godly, biblical leadership thinking. And that transformed my life and enabled the church to grow again, as I realized as groups get bigger, they become more complex to lead. So I had to become better at leadership. And so I'm inviting you on a journey as we go through this book that has transformed my life, and I think it could transform yours and your leadership team. And the concept is quite simply this. How do we go from good to great? Actually, the book begins by saying good is the enemy of great. It's so easy, isn't it, to become just kind of, well, we're good. We're good enough at what we do. We've got a decent church. We've got a church that gently grows and there's nice church services and we're kind of making a bit of a difference where we're good enough, when actually the potential to be great and to absolutely transform the sphere in the world that God has given us to touch is there waiting for us if we'll say, you know what, I don't just want to be good, I want to be everything that I could be in God. So I'm going to take on a whole new area of learning in my life. That's what I did through this book and through the advice of a few good friends. In the book, Good to Great, Jim Collins and his team study some of the top organizations in the world, enduring, successful organizations, to find out what makes them tick, what makes them uniquely good and great and uniquely enduring. And some of the things that he discovers are really quite remarkable. Let me tell you some. Here's some of the findings that they found. For instance, a great enduring company isn't necessarily led by, it says here, larger than life celebrity leaders. Those great big extrovert characters were not the leaders of the very best companies. Let that encourage you as a church. You don't have to be great, big, successful, a huge character to have a great church. It says this as well. Strategy per se did not separate the good to great companies from the comparison companies. Both sets of companies had well-defined strategies, and there's no evidence that the good to great companies spent more time on long-range strategic planning than the comparison companies. In other words, strategy alone isn't going to do it. You can have a good strategy. That won't make you great. There's other things like this. The good to great companies did not focus principally on what to do to become great. They focused equally on what not to do and what to stop doing. Learning what to stop doing is huge for pastors. One of the things that, well, we kind of busy ourselves, but they don't really matter. The effect is not big enough. There are a few key things we need to focus on, and we're going to learn what they are as we go through this book summary together in the Tribe Zone. Another little point here, mergers and acquisitions, so in our case that would relate to church mergers, play virtually no role in igniting a transformation from good to great. Listen to this. Two big mediocrities joined together never make one great company. Wow. Two mediocrities won't solve your problem when they come together. We need to discover what greatness is again. The good to great companies, it said, paid little attention to managing change. That's unusual, isn't it? Motivating people or creating alignment. Under the right conditions, the problems of commitment, alignment, motivation, and change largely melt away. So my question is, so what are those ideal conditions? That means we're not motivating volunteers every 2 minutes, but largely the team becomes self-motivating because the conditions are right. That's an issue of leadership. Preachers will try and motivate with more preaching, but if the conditions are right, come on, you know it, your best teams need very little managing and motivating. It's all in there already. So how do we develop that? It said the good to great companies had no name, tagline, launch event or program to signify their transformations. Indeed, some reported being unaware of the magnitude of the transformation at the time in the company. Only later, in retrospect, did it become clear. Yes, they produced a truly revolutionary leap in results, but not by a revolutionary process. We think that we need revolution to leap from where we are to where we wish we were. But actually, when you go through the book, you realize there's another way that great organizations behave. And if we can learn that, then we can begin to move forward towards greatness. And finally, it says this: the good to great companies were not, by and large, in great industries, and some of them were in terrible industries. In no case do we have a company that just happened to be sitting on the nose cone of a rocket when it took off. Greatness, this is a great line now, greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice. There are behavioral, cultural things that we can put in place that help our organizations, so in our context usually churches, to become great. Now I want to take you through the book, outlining 6 or 7 major concepts that they've found to be the things in all great enduring companies and the way that all great enduring leaders lead. Let's go through them together and let's find out how to move from merely good, or even just okay, let's be honest sometimes, to being great. Let's learn how to add skillful governing, skillful leadership to ministry so that our churches and influence can grow for the kingdom of God to increase and impact the world in which we live. That's the introduction. Let's get into the first chapter of Good to Great. Well, I hope you got something from that. As we go through the rest of the week on the Tribe Zone and the private social media groups, if you join the tribe, Tier 2 or Tier 3, which is the leadership levels. Tier 2 is when you join as an individual leader. Tier 3 is when you join as a team up to a group of 10. And as we go through, I'm going to be opening up the different lessons of the book. Lessons like Level 5 leadership. What are the best kind of leaders for leading successful, enduring organizations, or in many of our cases, churches? The concept of first who, then what, and how that transforms how we think about people in our teams and the vision statements of our teams. It's amazing how many of us have got leadership back to front. We tend to put what before who, but actually the greatest organizations put who before what. There's a chapter called Confront the Brutal Facts. The fact that lots of our organizations live with a level of deception because we don't really talk about the real issues and how we need to learn to open up and get to the root of issues. The hedgehog concept. Wow, I'll talk to you about that one. A culture of discipline. Technology accelerators, and then I really like this one, the flywheel and the doom loop. There are certain organizational behaviors that affect us all, and when you learn the ebbs and the flows in the season of an organization, you can really begin to see it work well. So I'm going to be taking you through all of those. I'd advise you to grab the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, and really you're going to find it helps your leadership so much. If you want to come and join the tribe right now, we've got 50% off Tier 2 if you join as an individual. Tier 3 is so discounted down to essentially when you join as a team of up to 10. If you've got 10 of you, it's equivalent to about £25 per leader per year, and you get 600 modules of learning as well as the live stuff that we're doing right now. So check that out. Come and join the tribe. If you want to know more, here's the usual advert and information about the tribe. Then come and check us out at jarrodcooper.net and join up. See you soon. What is the tribe, I hear you ask? Well, it's a global online learning community. There are loads of us around the world interacting, growing, stretching in the things of God together and having fun as we learn. There's 3 tiers in the tribe. Tier 1 is basic access to our tribe zone. It is an online learning zone. We use the same software as Harvard University, so it's great, it's powerful, it's intuitive, and it works really well on everything from a tablet to a phone to a laptop. And you can grow with us in the things of God over everything from leadership to church growth to faith, things of the Spirit, prophetic, the miraculous. It's all there. 500 modules of audio, video, e-courses and stuff like that. As well as that, you get a private Facebook group where you can interact with Vicky and I, and we can be growing in the things of God together. Tier 2 is all of that, but it's for leaders. It's our global leadership tribe. And so it has a lot more leadership content as well. You get 4 books the moment that you join sent to you, and then you will get every book I write in the period of your membership sent to you free of charge. We want to invest in leaders, and so it's much more interactive at Tier 2. Tier 3 is where 10 leaders in one team can join together so you can learn and grow. It is a brilliant resource to give to all of your team. You don't always want to lose them as they head off to Bible school. You want to train them right where they are in a training community, and that's what this is. So if Tier 3 interests you, have a little look at that. Let me show you some testimonials of what people are saying about their life and learning with the tribe.
Hey there, it's Roma Waterman here from Melbourne, Australia. I just want to say I'm amazed at the amount of resources that are in Tribe and the fresh content that's constantly being added. I say this with complete truthfulness. I think Pastor Jarrod Cooper is one of the best teachers in leadership and the prophetic and creativity that I have heard in the world. So I highly recommend it. I highly recommend that you sign up and be part of such an amazing community.
Hi, my name's Dave Mallender. I'm the pastor of Grace Church Bridlington, and we connected with the Tribe because we knew a lot of the people, and the voices that we heard were encouraging and inspiring. A lot of prophetic voices that helped us and guided us. It helped us to feel like we were part of the global picture and not just our little part of the jigsaw. But above all things, we learned two specific things: practical and spiritual. And the practical things, that we have taken principles from the Tribe and applied them to our church, which means we manage it better, we present it better, we make it look better and sound better. And the practical principles have been brilliant, but there is also the spiritual principles of apostolic anointing. And as we've listened and applied spiritual principles into our church, we've actually seen the church start to grow. And we believe that we're about to hit the second wave of growth from connecting to the Tribe. So we want to say, God bless you. Thanks for doing what you're doing, and encourage you to get involved if you can with the Tribe.
Hi, I love the Tribe because it's a place of the prophetic, it's a place of fun, and with a healthy dose of the practical included as well. There's a whole wealth of resources on there that will keep you going for years, and on such a range of subjects that you could do Bible school in your pyjamas if you wanted to. And where else could you get an international apostle like Jarrod answering your questions? It's just brilliant. So if you ever feel a bit like Elijah and thinking, oh, poor old me, I'm the only one left who's been zealous for God, then you can just log into the Tribe community and discover, no, actually, God's reserved a whole remnant of people who are there, ready and waiting to encourage each other on and do great things for God's kingdom. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, come over and join us. It would be lovely to meet you.
Isn't that incredible? Head to jarrodcooper.net and come on, join this family of people growing in the things of God, growing in the Word, growing in the Spirit, and enjoying this journey of walking in God together. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to make it up as you go along. Come and join the Tribe, and let's enjoy life together.